There's so much you promised. How could I ever forget? Listen, you know I love you, but I just can't take this. You know I love you, but I'm playing for keeps. Although I need you, I'm not gonna need this. You know I want to, but I'm in too deep.
In Too Deep, that's Genesis. Dan, RadioStyle, hope everybody out there's having themselves a great day. First and foremost, I got to share with you real quick about that song. Kind of goes back, it's very funny, it's back when I was in junior high, and there was a girl I had an amazing crush on, Amber. In fact, she ended up moving away, I want to say, like right after she finished junior high, moved out to like Colorado or something like that. I somehow got a hold of her phone number and called her, and actually we sort of became closer after she'd moved away than when she was close by. But man, I had a crazy crush on Amber. Super crazy crush. And that song, I had it on a 45 little record. And I also had another song, I've played it before, I think it was Dreamtime by Daryl Hall. And I had like her name written on the inside of the record. Like, so when it played, I'd just see like Amber and her name. And anyway, sad, I know, but funny, because ironically, it's kind of what this show is about in the big picture. Now, you know, that was way before I knew anything about law of attraction or Neville Goddard or trying to create realities that I wanted, but certainly had a wonderful experience with someone that was very, very powerful. So calling this like, I don't know, letting go of the marathon, letting go of the race, letting go of this long, I don't know, whatever it is. This is for one, right off the bat to clarify, this is going to be hopefully a sort of a free-flowing sort of show on letting go. Letting go has been a really big thing going on in my world lately. It's been a show I've wanted to do for at least a couple weeks now. It's one I get a lot of questions on. It's generally a popular topic, and it usually gets good views. Lately, I've been doing a lot of shows and kind of breaking groups or people into three general categories as far as where we're at in the general manifestation thing. I'm going to start with that because this really only applies to a group of us, not everybody. So for those that are still angry, but things are a little closer, right? We've got some forgiveness issues. We've got, and I don't mean that in any negative way, but I kind of lump you all into one group. You're people that need to kind of help get some of the forgiveness going, need to sort of let go, need to do some healing, really need to try to do some rubbing out, astral letters, like all of this kind of stuff. So certainly where you're at in your process is a little different than groups 2 and 3, if you will. And again, no group is better than the other. No group is good or bad. They're all varying stages of this concept. And so there's nothing wrong with being in that place. But when you've got anger and all these kinds of resentment and all these kinds of things, there's energy, there's healing that needs to happen. These things need to be resolved or it's going to be a problem for you in the big picture. We've got people that are really close and probably know they're really close because you've actually got like a scenario, you've got a relationship, you're talking on a regular basis, you're dating once in a while, right? You're getting really, really, really close and you're just not quite there, whatever there is even at that point, because even that line's starting to become a little blurry. But again, it's happening. It's more than in process than some of us, right? So, and that's a slightly different grouping than I usually choose. But that grouping of people, this is really, message isn't necessarily for you either. I don't want you to get off track. But this is for the number of people that have been putting in time. There's been some effort on this. We've certainly done our self-love. We love who we are. We love our lives. Everything's going great in our lives, right? We're definitely, no question about, definitely love the person with all of our heart, mind, and soul. My SP is someone that I adore beyond words. In fact, there's still no one that even comes close to her. Not ever has even come yet close. Like, it just blows my mind. And that's really been my issue with this whole thing. It's a person that just hit me in such a profound way. I'm curious why. And I hope to find out, frankly. And that's what I've been working on manifesting, right? So for those of us that have been going at this a while, this concept of letting go can actually be a bit of a lifesaver. Not only can it be a bit of a lifesaver, and I've also noticed this from other times that I've been down this avenue, and I'm going to get into this clarification in a little bit, so I'm not trying to drag it out, but I've got another thing I want to share before I get into that. But this whole concept's been something I've done a couple times, and every time I've gotten very awesome results. 1. 2, when it finally happens, the way I feel is just amazing. It is off the charts. It's almost a sense of bliss. Like, it doesn't matter. It's almost like a weight has come off my shoulders, and I don't care what happens anymore. I love them with all of my heart, and I believe truly it's going to happen one day. But the constantly thinking about it, is it today? Is it tomorrow? Is it all this stuff, going through holidays, like, right, all these things are just like, this is tiresome. This is really, really tiresome. So these are the scenarios that I'm talking about. And that could be 3 months, could be 12 years. Whatever your time frame is, if you've gotten to this point where you've worked on yourself, you're happy with who you are, you're happy with the direction your life's going, you know you're doing the right things, right? Like, maybe there's a couple things here and there where you're, but you're so freaking close, so whatever, right? I'm not going to split hairs because now I'm just looking for things. What am I pushing out now, right? What am I being insufficient on now? It's like, come on. It's almost like I'm digging a deeper hole by looking for things I'm doing wrong when I'm reasonably sure, because everything else in my life is going so well. To assume this one thing is kind of silly. That's where I'm at with it. So much is going beautifully in my life right now, and there's other things I'm focused on that really matter to me, really, really matter to me, and will bring me great joy for sure. These are focuses I have right now, and this other thing would be wonderful, but whatever. So that's kind of where I'm coming from. And Pamela, who's an author that or artist or viewer, what is she? YouTube creator. There you go. That I talk to frequently. I just adore Pamela. Pamela's awesome. She's got a growing channel as well, and I've plugged her a bunch of times. And Anya's she's helping me, right? But this is my little way to hopefully try to reach out to some others. So Pamela's great stuff. But she'd kind of created a comment. There we go. Good. So I'm going to read the parts of the comment that I thought were kind of germane, and then I'm going to read my response, and we'll kind of go from there. And I think that's where I'm going to get into this difference between the letting go I've done a couple times now and this time, because this is going to be third time. For me, is either the charm or 3 strikes, I'm out. Either way, that's where I'm at with it right now. That's where I'm at with it. Love her. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. If I get too cool, if I don't, cool. I don't care. I've done all the asking, all the imagining. That's out there. I am 100% sure it's out there. I can see it with everything in my mind and heart and everything. It's just the issue of when's it going to happen. And frankly, it gets tiring worrying, looking, thinking about it at all, rather than just, forget this. So the way it kind of came from Pamela was, in her case anyway, I had given up on manifesting him back to the point where I am no longer believing anything in that area would happen. And I was even doubting that it was possible to manifest an SP back at all. But, and that's just that level you get. It's not that she doesn't believe in this, because certainly, obviously, people have done it. Hello, she knows that. But I was totally okay with that, right? And my attitude was, whatever. If it works for other people, that's great. I know the universe will bring the best relationship match to me regardless. That's a very important thing to get to. When you get to that point where, what is it about? Is it about them, or am I interested in a relationship? Am I interested in being in love with someone that loves me back and has a healthy relationship with me? What is it that I'm really, truly after? And that becomes a very crucial question. Are we stuck on this person because we're stuck on this person? Because I'll be honest, sometimes a breakup is a good thing. In my life, in the past, there have been breakups where getting back together with those people would not have been good. I wanted it, but I was lucky enough to not get what I was asking for. I am 100% sure of that at times. There's been lots of times I've manifested everything I have desired. Everything. Bunch of stuff. Bunches of times. People, like, generally speaking, whenever I put my focus on somebody, that's it. I will go out with them. There's no question. It just happens. Again, there was something unique in this particular scenario, unique enough to the point where it was like, well, I'm very curious what's going on. So when you finally get to that place where you're like, I just want love. I'm looking for a healthy, awesome, wonderful relationship. And then now I've just kind of lumped onto that. And that makes me feel like you'll just know when you meet them. That's always the thing I've always heard. So anyway, she says a bunch of other stuff in here. And basically the part I highlighted is I'm still focusing on my life and working on myself. and I still have the attitude that I know the universe will bring the best match to me. It does not have to be him, and I am okay with that. Now, of course, she's been thinking about him a little more lately, just put some of this in context, and she mentions that he's a police officer, so I kind of use that as sort of an example of why I think this letting go concept can sometimes really benefit. Now, this is somewhat of a lame example. I admit that in the comment, as well as I'm admitting it in advance, but it kind of gets the point across, and so here it is anyway. When love is really at play, love will find a way and always does. But it almost always requires us to get the heck out of the way and stop thinking about it completely. Our thoughts, our constant questioning is not helping. When you let go of that. That goes away. That is part of that peace that you feel when you get to that place. It's that release. Because yes, you love them. That doesn't matter. That's not even the issue. It's the constant there on your mind. And if you can just push that away a little bit, just a little, it'll pop into your head every once in a while. I love you too. Like, it'll happen. But it's not all the time, and it makes life easier. So if the universe needs you to meet your SP at the courthouse for whatever reason, just in this example, the universe needs you guys to meet there. There's something about there. It's the right place. It's the proper place. You're going to be in the right frame of mind. They're going to be in the right frame of mind. For some reason, the courthouse is the proper place. And the universe needs it to happen that way for both of you. Now, you've been imagining over and over that you're going to be meeting this guy at the grocery store and you're going to meet him in the produce aisle, right? That's what your imaginal work has been. Again, I'm making up an example. You can apply this however you'd want. But in my imagination scene, that's where we bump into each other, is at the grocery store. And we meet each other and we lock on our eyes and we start talking about how the cantaloupe seems oddly ripe today, right? Or whatever the stupid thing is. But universe needs it to be at the courthouse. So you finally reach a point where you say, screw this, I give up. And you stop trying to manifest the grocery store. And one day you're parked in some weird random place. Get a parking ticket on your car. Some minor amount, something stupid. And you're like, whatever. Like, I probably could fight this, but it's not even worth it. I'm just going to go down to the courthouse. I'm going to pay the fine. Courthouse is close. Maybe you live by it, right? It just works out. I'm going to go down to the courthouse. I'm going to pay the fine. I'm going to be done with this. Just done with it. So you walk in to pay the courthouse fine. And right when you walk in, you notice this gentleman in a police officer uniform. And he notices you. You catch eyes. It's like, oh. And you start talking to each other. You say something like, oh, are we safe today or something crazy? And he's like, yeah, oh, ma'am, I make sure you're safe right now. I don't know why he's got an accent in this particular thing, especially considering this is Pamela's story. He's probably out there in Boston land or close to it and has that cool New England-y sounding accent that I can't do very well. Needless to say, long story short, you gave up on the grocery store. Now you ended up at the courthouse. You met your dude. You met your SP. Sometimes us getting out of the way of ourselves is us constantly asking for a specific scenario that's not how this is supposed to play out. We're too worried about aspects of the how. A lot of times I've done shows about going bigger, and I still mean that in this case. Really, it's the end result. I like the marriage scene. A lot of people do that. That's a good one, right? That's pretty solid. Like, you're together at that point. Or even vacationing together is good stuff. Like sleeping together. There's definitely stuff, to me in my mind at least, that seems reasonably far into the relationship side of things that works really well. But I know there's other people that are like that. He texts me, that he calls me, that we have a date together, that like, right, there's a lot of other things that are, to me, in my opinion, if you're truly interested in this person for love and long-term everything, is a little short-sighted. Now, again, if you don't know this person, yeah, date's a great idea. You really want to get to know each other. That's super important. So, again, that whole aspect of it. And then I had one other person comment today as well. And the one thing that she brought up that I think is really important, and then I'll get into the last little bit of this, is she goes, as I mentioned, Dan, I'm writing more, applying to jobs, so I need to visualize more on those things to get to where I need, to use my energy evenly. I am now at the point where I can feel God telling me to balance myself. I'm so tired of putting energy towards my SP, and I realized why. So letting go is definitely the way for me in regards to him, and will be for the visualizing of my jobs and writing career when I give enough energy to them. It's fine to still send love and give love to yourself, but when it seems like a chore and you feel burnout, shift to something else and know and feel that your time and energy were not in vain. Now, first and foremost, many of us, when we're spending a lot of this time focused on our SP, focused on manifesting this person, we're thinking so much about manifesting this person that we're not focused on any of the other areas in our life. And that is not okay. Every area of our life needs time, needs thought time, needs energy towards it. I know the SP might be the one that you're most focused on right now, but really the rest of our life also needs help and it also needs attention and focus. And when we can stop focusing everything on our SP, it allows us to truly, finally focus on ourselves. I've heard a lot of people say, I've been focused on myself and I've been this and that, but my so special person didn't text me right back. It's like, okay, so no, you're not really focused probably on yourself as much as you think you are. You might be, but you're probably not. You probably are still focused on a lot of the same things, right? But you just try not to think about them now. So for like when you used to think about them 100% of the time, now it's only 80% of the time, and you feel like, wow, I'm spending some time really on myself. When in reality, what I'm talking about is like 20% of the time you think about them, 80% of the time it's you. That's really when you're focused on self. So that's when this letting go thing really starts to come into play. And the whole concept of it not being in vain, for sure. Again, to use my example, and this is the one thing I lean on for me, and I know other people are going to feel the same way, right? They have their versions of it anyway. But I've become a much better man than I ever was before. The concept of a family is something that I actually indulge in and think about that I never did before. My concept of being in a marriage and a relationship long term has changed for sure. I've stopped smoking. I started my YouTube channel. I've almost tripled my salary in the time that I've known her as far as my normal job or my income. My overall income is probably a better way to look at it. So I have made a major strides in my life. So maybe I've gotten myself prepared for something over here, and I'm going to meet somebody that's like truly, when I thought with my SP that, you know, like you'll just know when you meet him, like, because I don't know. That's the only time I've ever felt it was with her. So I don't know. But, you know, it's where it is right now, right? Versus maybe, who knows? Maybe I meet someone else. Okay. I'm open for that. I'm up and open for whatever is at this point. And not everybody needs to get to this, I still want my SP. That's fine. And I'm not saying you have to be like this. I'm just talking about the idea of being open. Because like I said earlier, when you get to the point when you realize, is it about a relationship that's healthy and good and wonderful, or is it about them particularly? And then you've really got to go, why them? Because if they truly wanted to be with me, they would be, right? So yes, there's things, and yes, I can give the benefit of the doubt, and there's plenty, really, that I can give the benefit of the doubt to, but I'm tired of worrying about it. I'm tired of thinking about it. I'm tired of trying to prove this to anybody. I'm tired of trying to say, hey, here's right. I've manifested all sorts of things in my life. I don't have to try to manifest something that seems to be either A, a blockage in my side, B, universe is for whatever reason not wanting it right now, or C, this person's not choosing me. Okay. All of that is fine. That's okay. So again, you kind of open yourself, you let go, and now I don't have to worry about it. Now it's not an issue. Now it's out there. And I can continue to focus on what I'm working on, the things that I've got in the pipeline, the things that I'm accomplishing right now. A lot of good things for that matter. So what's different about it this time? Well, here's what I know for sure is I know we'll communicate again. I'm sure of that. I know I'll see her again. I'm sure of that. But what's going to be a little different for me this time is in the past when I've done this and then she communicates to me and then I'm right back to where I was. Right back to exactly how I was behaving prior to not communicating with them. Back when they weren't texting me back, for example, or back when things maybe weren't being reciprocated quite the same. So what's different this time and what I think is great about this letting go concept is this time I'm going to do the letting go thing. I'm going to get the message. I'll sort of do it back, but it's like, no, I'm still let go. Because ultimately, there's something that really needs to happen, and the universe knows this, and I'm not sure how it's going to occur, but this next step has to occur, or I'm not interested in stepping forward anymore. So again, all of us need to really be able to look at our scenario and decide what's going on with myself. Now, this is how I've gotten to the point of letting go. To clarify one last time, because I know so many people are not going to hear this. You'll probably already have checked out, and so you didn't hear this part. Or B, you're going to listen to me say it and still won't hear it. I know she cares about me. I know I love her. No doubt whatsoever in my mind. I know I'll see her again. I know she'll contact me. I'm not 100% sure what happens with this next seeing again. That needs to happen. But it depends how it occurs. There's a way it can occur that will be kind of not productive, and there's a lot of ways it can occur that will be productive. So I am completely still open and desiring my specific person. I still love her more than life itself. Nothing has changed in that regard. But it's also me acknowledging if one, love will find a way. It always does. And two, if this is what I think it is, we'll get through this. We'll make it through this. But it's driving me insane, and I need to back away. I need to. It's not healthy. It's not healthy to keep all this going on forever. And you know what? Maybe when I finally look away, maybe I'll find something totally amazing because I finally stopped looking over here. Because now I can finally look over here and be like, oh my God, this was here all along. I didn't realize it. Holy crud, that's amazing. Or by the fact that I get out of my own way, it's finally able to happen because I'm not constantly interjecting my thoughts to the universe and saying stuff that the universe is like, really, dude? Come on. Like, just 4 hours ago, you were fine. Now this? It's the same for a lot of us. We interject our own thoughts. We step on our own feet. We put our own handbrake on so much that the letting go is really about letting go of it. Neville talks about when you finally see it in your mind and it's finally real in your mind, then it becomes real at that point out there. It is real. It's real in my mind. It's real out there. It's the same situation that I got going on right now. None of this has changed. It's an issue on how we deal with the day-to-day. Letting go and letting it happen is, for the most part, the easiest way to get from A to Z. It is the easiest way to get to your manifestation, especially when it's something that you're emotionally charged about. And many people truly don't believe that creating it in their mind creates it out there. So that's why the idea of letting go to them freaks them out, because they think once they stop doing the work, there's no way it's going to happen, because the fact that they do the work every single day is what's telling the universe, bring this closer. So every day I do it one more time and it inches just a hair closer. And then I do it one more time and it inches just a hair closer. And then I do it again and it inches just a hair closer. And eventually, when I've done it 1,000,000 times for 12 hours a day, every single day for 14 weeks, it'll finally be there. No, that's not. I'm sorry. At least that's not what I buy into. I think is crap completely. You put it out there. It's real in your mind. It's real. It's done. It's us constantly messing with it that makes it take 14 months. It's us constantly interjecting our thoughts, our fears, and these anxieties are going to pop up from time to time regardless. Even you can be the most confident person in the world, and there's still going to be moments where you might feel a little insecure for a moment. It's just going to happen from time to time. 99% of the time, you're completely secure and confident. Then all of a sudden, you have this one moment and someone says something weird and you're wearing a weird dress you don't feel right in, and you're actually about 5 pounds heavier than normal because you're bloated or whatever the shoot, right? But they hit you at just the right time. You're like, oh, and you're a freaking like model, right? You're gorgeous. And this person gets you thinking weird thoughts about how you look. It happens to everybody. Everybody. There's nothing wrong with that. It's part of this process. But the problem is it tends to thwart the movement we're making in this manifestation. I hope this makes sense. I know this is going to open up to a lot of questions. I also know that a lot of people are going to start dropping Neville quotes on me. I get it. And Do whatever you want. That's awesomeness. But for those of us that have been down this path for a while, we're not giving up on love. We're not giving up on the relationship. We're not giving up on loving these people. We're giving up on this day-to-day chore. That's not making me feel better. It's not necessarily helping. I'm not seeing any day-to-day benefit from it. Let's put it that way. I already know I've asked for it. Universe freaking knows what I want. I don't question that at all. So what am I doing? Why am I worried about it? I'm not. I'm done. Done. If she wants me, she knows where I'm at. If she doesn't, I hope she has the best life. I hope everything wonderful happens for her that she's always wanted. And I know I've got the same coming for myself. I have no doubt about that. I think this is a big deal, a big key. I think this helps for a lot of people. And certainly there's a group of people that are on the fence right now. It's okay to let go. You can get back into it a week later too. By the way, it's not like when you let go, you've like fallen into a black hole and you can't ever get back. No, you start doing the work tomorrow. Start doing it next week. Doesn't matter. Stop doing it as long as you want, as long as it feels good, maybe forever. But you'll notice, and this is still, I've said this before, you'll notice interesting things happen when you finally let go and get out of your own way. Your life really starts to take form, make sense, and you will get indications that interesting things are happening. As I've said before, I dare you to try it. It's a very good thing. All right, we're going to be going out with a song by Taylor Swift, You Belong With Me. It is Dan Radio Style.
She wears short skirts, I wear t-shirts. She's cheer captain and I'm on the bleachers, dreaming about the day when you wake up and find that what you're looking for